Peace, y'all. It's your girl Shay with Green Goddess Beauty. So I wanted to do a quick video to talk about veganism and why I went vegan and why most vegans are vegan. So the first reason why most of us go vegan is because of the cruelty that is happening to the animals. I love animals. I did not know it was as bad as it really is. And if that is something that you can stomach, I recommend you taking a look at what's really happening. It might change your perspective. They are forced to live in extremely small living spaces where they can barely turn around, or packed in spaces together, just open. Baby chicks are debeaked at a very young age. Cows are being dehorned. A lot of the practices that they use to slaughter the animals are not the most humane. So for many vegans, it's about compassion and peace, and that is the number one reason for many of us. And for me, that is the number one reason why I'm vegan. The second reason why I'm vegan is because of the environment. It takes massive amounts of land, water, food, and energy to raise these animals. It literally is tapping into our resources. Um, it takes a lot of money to raise these animals, although this food production drives the economy, and that kind of is also some other kind of food for thought as to why things are pushed the way that they are pushed. I'm not trying to like go all the way there, but yeah, the environment is being negatively impacted by raising these animals. They're cutting down large amounts of trees. The land space is being used to grow the food that they're feeding the animals and to raise the animals. The water supply, thousands and thousands of gallons of water are used per day on small amounts. I mean, like maybe, I don't know, 5 cows takes like almost 3,000 gallons a day, probably more than that. So our natural resources are being used to raise these animals. So the environment is the second reason why most people go vegan. It's the second reason why I'm vegan. And the third reason is because of my personal health. Aside from whether or not us humans were designed to consume and break down meat, you have scientists that are able to show that we're not, from things like the way our intestines are, the length, the kind of acids and enzymes that are in our digestive systems and stomachs or whatever, and also our teeth. You know, we don't have the incisors to rip meat like maybe a tiger or a bear. So I mean, aside from those reasons, health wise, what scientists are finding how it's affecting us health wise, the hormones that they are giving the animals to make them grow so fast are hormones that are causing diseases like cancer, and diabetes. So that's the third reason, for health reasons, why most people are vegan. That's my third reason why I'm vegan. But I also wanted to say, just on a spiritual, metaphysical perspective, which I know many people are probably turning off the video at this point. But from a spiritual perspective, we're consuming animals that are totally stressed out. They know they're going to die. They're releasing these hormones in their bloodstream just seconds before they're going to die. They are dying with this fear energy in their auric field and literally in their bodies, in their bloodstream. And we're consuming this this meat, this scared, anxious meat. I just don't think it's a coincidence that there is so much fear promoted. Whether it's what's happening with the financial market, to what's happening with the president, to the news that is just flooding you with negativity, whether or not these things actually occurred or not, whether it's the people that are causing the crimes or the kids that are shooting up the schools, right? I just don't feel like it's a coincidence. Also, on a metaphysical, from a metaphysical perspective, for people who are privy to the hermetic laws and like the law of correspondence and stuff, like the law of exchange and the law of attraction, or if you are a Christian person and you think in terms of reaping and sowing, or if you are a Buddhist and think in terms of karma, where does it fit in if we are mistreating animals on this level, to either wear them, right, eat them, use them for exploiting them for everything and anything that they can give us, right? And again, I have not always been vegan, so this is not about trying to bash people who aren't. It's just about giving a different perspective, because a lot of the times, unless we're offered a different perspective, we're just not even thinking, in that way. But again, from a metaphysical perspective, what kind of energy are we creating with this behavior, with this cycle of the mass slaughtering and exploitation? I mean, does anybody else think that it's not a coincidence that we are so violent? And there's so much low vibrating energies going on, and people suffering from stuff like anxiety and depression, and not that is the only culprit. And again, I'm just offering a perspective because this is how I started thinking about it. And then one more thing, this is not so much from a spiritual perspective, this is more from a physical perspective. But the cells in our body are living, and cells are living organisms, and anybody who took a science class, can attest to that. How can we expect for living cells in our body to thrive off a dead meat? And I think that is kind of like one of the thoughts that I had that kind of drove it home to me how unnecessary it really is to eat meat. And I know a lot of people are concerned about stuff like protein and stuff like that. And I feel like for people who are trying to transition, you can hit me up because I can help with that. Greengoddessbeauties.com. Greengoddessbeauties.com. I can help you transition. I feel like it's more of a psychological thing than a physical thing. Trust me, you're not going to die from not eating meat. You don't have to eat meat, but to me, it's not about doing that if that's not where you're at. And that's just, in all honesty, I don't judge for people who don't feel the need or who aren't interested. I feel like everybody has a different purpose and a different perspective for a reason. And it's not about being right or wrong. So to me, I just want to offer a perspective because people ask me questions like, Where do you get your protein from? Or why are you vegan? Or I just couldn't do that. I just gotta have my meat. And a lot of the times they don't know about those three things that I mentioned, how it's impacting the environment or how it impacts us physically. Because it's not even just about weight loss. It's not even about just losing weight. People aren't privy to how the animals are being treated. So and people are not thinking about it, as I mentioned, from that metaphysical or spiritual perspective, the reaping and sowing, or the karma, or however you want to put it. And so I just wanted to share my thoughts on it, because that's why I'm vegan. That's why I'm passionate about it. I made the decision. I've been vegan 2 years. I started off vegetarian. Eggs were like the hardest thing for me to give up. Beef and pork were the easiest things for me to give up. I haven't eaten beef or pork in since like maybe 2002. However, I know for everybody it's not that easy. And even if it's about just minimizing your meat intake, not only does that help the environment, it's going to help you out physically as well. So yeah, I just wanted to end on that note. Like I said, this is not a trying to get you to convert kind of video. I just wanted to offer that perspective as to why I'm vegan, why most people go vegan, how it can impact not just you but the world, resource wise, planet wise, animal wise, health insurance cost wise. I just would implore everybody to educate yourself and learn more about it, and don't just be so quick to shut it down because it's something new. I know that's something that we all naturally do. It's hard for us to sometimes have an open mind when we were raised like this. This country, the world, for the most part, consumes meat. And again, this is not about being right or wrong. This is just to offer a different perspective. Right now, there are so many documentaries out there between Netflix and YouTube. Check them out. You might decide that you want to explore veganism, or at least being vegan a couple of times a week, So anyway, hit me up. Boom, events coming up. I have Kilimanjaro Tribe and myself. We have a meditation and manifestation session in the park on November 18th. Please check us out. I will put the information in the description box. Check me out on the gram, The Green Goddess Beauty, The Green Goddess Beauty on Instagram, Green Goddess Beauty LLC on Facebook, greengoddessbeauties.com, my website. I also have a blog about genetically modified organisms. I think I briefly discussed that in this video. Check that out. And yeah, so those are the 3 reasons why I'm vegan, and 3 reasons why most people that I know are vegan. And yeah, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. Like I said, this ain't about any bashing. Positive vibes only, please. Like, no disrespecting vegans, and there's no disrespect to non-vegans either. It's all about love, y'all. So peace, love y'all.